Hello guys, welcome back to TFD with Cordy. So, it happened again. It has happened again, lads. Another team has done it. Now, if you guys are wondering what I mean by it, I'm talking about releasing half-season passes that are not actually half-season passes. And if you guys think this is still ridiculous, well, it is. But that being said, we have to talk about this right here because a big reason I have to talk about this is because guess what team is not included in this season pass? So, you might be saying, oh, I don't think the Mystics moved every Indiana game, by the way. I think they play them 3 times. Even if they moved it, it should still count. But look at what team's not here. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they have 20 of their home games. I just want to check the Indiana Fever schedule to see, do the Fever face the Mystics twice away from home? Because I don't know if the Mystics have put them into another game. I know the Dream, I don't think they have. And lovely, they decided to get rid of their pinned post, which is a little bit annoying if you're the Indiana Fever. If you're looking at this here, again, you can see the Sparks home game, Toronto, the Vegas home game, the Phoenix home game, the Dallas home game, the Valkyries home game, and the Dream home game are there. Did they play the Aces at home? LA Sparks? Okay, it actually seems like, oh no, sorry, Las Vegas is the first one. It is the first one. But yeah, it is not surprising at all that there is clearly one team missing. There is clearly one team missing here. And of all these teams, they decided they're not going to put Indiana on their half-season pass. And at least they're not doing what the Minnesota Lynx did. Do you remember last year when the Minnesota Lynx literally said, okay, the Fever aren't on our, our list. However, when it comes down to it, if you want Indiana Fever tickets, you obviously have to pay a premium. And that being said, I still can't believe the Fever actually put this out as their schedule. I don't even know which one is meant to be the Mystics. I really don't know. The Chicago Sky, the Connecticut Sun, the Mercury. What even is the Mystics? I am so confused. Okay, so they play the Mystics 3 times during the Indiana schedule, scheduled by Ticketmaster. So let's see. They're at Indiana for their game against Indiana. And then I'm going to Control F and find Indiana here. The 3 games they played them, oh my God. I'm going to stop doing that. So they're at Indiana versus Indiana and at Indiana. Okay, so their 1 game against Indiana is in the Commissioner's Cup, and it is, I'm guessing, in a big arena, Care First Arena in Washington, D.C. Is that a big arena? I don't know. Care First Arena. No, it's not even the big arena. They just took it off the schedule. They just took it off, which is hilarious. So you can't get a half-season ticket and get the Indiana Fever game. I wonder what other game is taken out, because I'm checking the big teams. Like Dallas is there twice. They play Dallas twice at home. Chicago, yeah, the Chicago game is there. Both Chicago games are there. Is it another Aces game? Is it New York? Is it the Liberty? It might be the Liberty that they're not including, because obviously there are 22 home games and 22 away games. But that being said, it's still ridiculous. This is another year of this. And shout out to Sheila Johnson again after obviously a whole team is missing here. This was the original tweet. Here said, those are special price tickets due to a scheduling conflict. Laugh. It was the Mystics last year that said there was a scheduling conflict. I don't think the Mystics did. I don't think they were that bold. I think it was the Atlanta Dream, where a partial owner went on social media and basically hinted that they didn't want Fever fans taking over their arena. And when you hear something like that, it makes you stop and think for a second. Because the reality is, a huge chunk of their attendance in recent seasons has actually come from the games against the Indiana Fever. If I remember correctly, there was a stat floating around that something like 30% of their attendance in a season came from just the 2 games where they hosted Indiana. That's not a small number. That's a massive part of the crowd. So when you see teams acting like they don't want those fans around, it's honestly a little confusing. But at the same time, this kind of thing has been happening all around the league. This isn't just one team doing something strange. It's not only a Mystics thing or a Dream thing. We've seen other teams take similar approaches before. Take the Minnesota Lynx, for example. Last year, they had a situation that people were calling completely ridiculous. Their ticket packages were structured in a way where fans basically had to jump through hoops just to get access to a Fever game. It wasn't straightforward at all. Instead of simply including the game in a normal ticket package, they set it up so you had to buy a certain half-season plan just to get access to one of those games. Then, if you wanted the other one, you needed a different package. It turned into this weird system where fans felt like they were being pushed into paying extra just because that game had higher demand. And now we're seeing another version of the same idea. Teams offering half-season ticket packages that conveniently leave out the Fever game entirely. So no matter which half of the season you buy, the one matchup everyone wants to see just isn't included. That's why people call it shameless, because it's pretty obvious what's going on. And what makes the whole thing even stranger is that we're now in 2026, and the same arguments about Caitlin Clark are still popping up online. You go on social media and you'll still see people trying to tear her down using arguments from years ago. Some people are still saying she can't be considered one of the greatest college players because she didn't win a national championship. And every time I see that, it just feels like we're repeating the exact same conversation we were having back in 2024. Then you see another argument, people bringing up that Gino Aoyama didn't recruit her when she was 15 years old. But that's not the gotcha people think it is. Players develop at different times. There have been plenty of examples in basketball history where a player wasn't considered the best prospect early on, but ended up becoming a superstar. Just look at LeBron James and Lenny Cook. At one point, people thought Cook might even be the better prospect as teenagers. And we all know how that turned out. That's why these arguments feel so strange. They ignore everything happening right now just to focus on something that happened years ago. And honestly, the comparison I always think of is Derrick Rose. Imagine if people tried to discredit his MVP season because of the college game championship where Mario Chalmers hit that famous shot for Kansas. It would sound ridiculous. Yet, that's basically the logic people are using. So yeah, when you combine the ticket drama, the social media debates, and the constant arguments about the same topics, the whole situation just feels kind of crazy. That's honestly the only word for it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think down below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.